What's funny is I feel the chocolate sundae is like super pop, and you'd expect those people to be there the rest of the week.
Chocolate sundae is funny. Chocolate sundae is funny, but here's the thing: Daphnique has now crossed over into the Monday through Saturday funny for the mainstream.
How does it feel to perform for new audiences?
It's cool until you go back and you follow another comedian and be like, damn, did I lose my edge? Recently, I went to the Comedy Union and I followed comedian CP. He murdered. I showed up late because I had another set. Showed up late and had to follow him and bombed. And when I tell you, I wanted to like cry off of stage because I'm like, damn, because it's always important to me, no matter how far I get and what audience I do, is to be funny to people that look like me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Other black people. Their approval is very important to me. So when I bombed, I was like, damn, did I lose my edge? And then
because
I was like,
you became white funny and now you, because there is a difference.
I think I'm funny, but I think it's a difference in black crowds. You know what I mean? And I would never belittle black people and say, oh, just some black people don't get my comedy. It's just sometimes the comedy that they're used to is more of a Def Jams type of bob, just funny, funny. And they ain't really following a story until you're so famous that they gonna follow the story. You know what I mean? Because like you got Kevin Hart, who's a storyteller, but people are gonna follow his story because in Tiffany Haddish in her special, she did story, told a whole story. People are gonna follow them because they're stars, And until you get there, sometimes they just want that quick funny. And I wasn't able to give it to them. I was like, hey, this is my story. They like, we ain't got time for that punchline. It ain't come quick enough. So it's important to me
and you also have to connect to black audiences first. Black audience, you can't, like when you're in a white club, you can get up there and be like, oh, so my mom, and they're like, yeah, we're here for it. Black people are like, who are you first? And that's how you make the connection. Like, I always have to be like, blank mind when I'm going on. All crowds, but I make sure to keep my mind blank when I'm performing for blacks because you have to start with your personality and then deliver your material.
You know what's even funnier is that I don't feel like a white comedian could be saying any of the same stuff that they're saying. Like, when I perform for blacks, it's different. I have to be black funny, but with the whites, I can just.
Well, we are talking about our own race, so they should never. Let's get that straight. Yeah, they should never. But if they talked about that, about connecting to their own crowds, then I could understand that.
It reminds me of literature, where you have the ethos, pathos, logos. You need the credibility of the author. So it's like when you're in front of these crowds, you need to sell almost your own brand. You got to sell yourself first.
Yeah.
They just said, yeah, no one agreed with you.
No,
we on the same page.
Those logos.
We on the same page.
I just said, yeah, because I was like, he the co-host.
It reminds me of Greek mythology.
Oh my gosh, that hurt my feelings.
So because you brought up, Daphne, you brought up Tiffany Haddish. Recently, Tiffany Haddish had a show New Year's Eve where it did not go so well. People got up, walked out. She made a joke regarding PETA, and she'll stop wearing fur when black people stop getting killed by the police and things of that nature. As a black female comedian, how did you perceive the way the media ran with this?
I think that's just a part of being a star and a celebrity, is that people are going to run with certain stories and they need something. I actually think the negative publicity is just going to work for her, in the long run. And it's no such thing as bad publicity in that type of, when you get to that type of level. Because the thing that people forget is 7.5 billion people on this earth. Somebody's going to agree with you and somebody's going to disagree with you. And guess what? Her numbers didn't drop. She did, the set was, it just seemed like, it was so much partying ahead of time and it wasn't just like focused. But I think that's something you have to learn. You know what I mean? You have to learn how to balance and handle, it's the same way we make fun of somebody as soon as they have kids or go through a divorce or whatever. When you're new to stardom, I think you have to learn how to adjust to that and learn how to balance party life. Because when we see people like P. Diddy, he's always partying. He looks like he's the life of the party. But it has to come a time where he has to balance and handle his business and doesn't show up drunk with a bottle of Ciroc at a meeting. So it's just like you learn over time to equate that. And I don't think that, you know, people saying, oh, this is, I guess saw so many comedians like, this is going to bring her down because they want to see her fall. But that shit ain't going to stop her from, guess what? You talking about her. I want people to talk about me, negative or positive.
They need to know too is she's still human. Like, don't forget that you, like, just because you famous don't mean you're not going to bomb. You're just going to bomb on bigger stages.
But it wasn't a difference. Let's explain this because it wasn't a bomb. A bomb is where people just aren't relating to your jokes. Now, if you came and you were still like hung over from the day before, that's just not being prepared. I think it's a difference. You know what I mean? Bombing is just like the audience didn't connect. But she admitted that she had just was hanging out too long and, you know, things got the best of her. I think that was I, as a comedian, I only do one or the other. Either I killed it or I bomb because I've just tried to be honest with myself so that I can continue to grow as a comic. Like, I don't be like, well, I didn't bomb this time. I just kind of no, you bombed. And that's going to happen if you're writing new material. If you're not writing, if you come to the stage and you got a killer set every time, you probably not writing new material. You know what I'm saying? I know 20-year vets, they kill every single time. And also they kill with that same set, and that same set is not going anywhere. Whereas if she's writing and producing new material, then you know you're not as confident delivering the new material as you would be. You know.
I feel you. I feel what you're saying, and you know what wasn't a bomb? Her comeback set at Tehran's show at the Laugh Factory. She came back on stage. It was, what night was it? Was it Thursday night?
It was that Thursday, following Thursday. So
following Thursday.
New Year's Eve was that going into that Monday. It was Monday night. Tuesday was the first, and then Thursday she flew back from Miami and went up at my show and discussed it.
Something to say, and she said it. She did her thing.
But that's the good thing about that type of situation. It gives you more material. Because I feel like sometimes when we see star comedians, if they're not strictly on a politics or current event type of a stand-up, you have to live life. You have to make mistakes. You have to, like Kevin Hart's big tour now is about the whole cheating thing, irresponsible tour. You have to basically live life, because if life is just so amazing for you and so good, you won't be able to connect to your audience anyway. So I think that people get to see you as still being human and still being relatable, because shit, half of those people that was in that audience probably go to their job every single day and do a bad job. Like you, so you gonna get mad at me for having one time?
Right.
Yeah.
One time you see me, I was off.
That's
But
real.
one time, but you go to your job every day and mess up my McDonald's order, and I asked for cream in my coffee, but you gave me black coffee. You hate being there. You know what I mean? So people, and it's just the thing nowadays with the internet, people are so negative, and they want to jump on a negativity. I guess just they just want to be negative. They feed off of it. They feed off of negativity more than they do positivity.
Yes, and the guy, the clip I saw, the guy, it looked like he couldn't wait. He was like, "I told you."
Yeah, he was
she
on the
couldn't
stage.
Deliver it.
He was on the stage. He was by the stage with her in the background, and she asked him to come on stage and do some jokes. And guess what? He didn't take his ass up there.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
That's the concern when it comes to anything connecting. Let's let our audience connect to both of you a little more. For the ones who are unfamiliar with you, let's learn a little more about you. What we do here on the show is we play a little game. It's called Either Or. Either Or. Now, notice the name of the game. Either Or. And what we do is we listen to your answers and we give our opinions. We analyze your answers to decipher for our listeners and ourselves who you might be.
It's a little bit of a psychoanalysis, but don't be worried about that part. The important part is that we strongly encourage you to just pick between the two.
Yeah, because we don't force girls to do anything.
Yeah, we
never force women to do anything they don't want. We strongly encourage you to pick one or the other.
I have a really good one for this conversation.
Either or.
This is Dave Chappelle or Chris Rock.
Ooh, it changed for me because of personal.
Well, let's hear about it.
At first, like, I'm a Chris Rock fan. Like, Chris Rock was just, because Dave Chappelle, when I was coming up, at my age now, I'm still kind of young, 25. No, but when I was coming up, you got to understand, Chris Rock was on his stuff. Dave Chappelle by that time had did the Chappelle show, but he had disappeared for years. So it was like I was constantly seeing Chris Rock, and he was my favorite. But I've met him a couple times and he's never been nice to me. So I'm just like,
wow.
So I switched over to Dave Chappelle. Because I think they're equally just offer something different. But I just love the style of Chris Rock, how he will jump from one to politics to sex to marriage to relationships and just he's very political. And but I love Dave Chappelle too. But I'm still going to roll with Chris.
I respect that.
Yeah, and I've had the same experience with Chris Rock. And you know what? It made me be like, I don't want to meet no more.
Everybody's had that experience. Okay.
His wife had the same experience.
Exactly.
Okay. Everybody's had that experience.
So I need to stop tripping.
He's like an introvert or something. He's not the most. He wasn't the most pleasant. So
I'm Dave Chappelle all day long. I just like. I like Dave Chappelle's comedy. I think it's more fun. You know, he smokes weed.
And he's such a nice person when you meet him, because we've all met both of these people. And he is just a nice, down to cool earth person, always willing to include you. Doesn't matter what level you're at. He doesn't care if you started comedy yesterday. If you're around and he connect with you, he gonna invite you somewhere. He's gonna be cool with you. He's gonna have a conversation with you like you the only person in the room.
Amen.
And it's just something to be said about somebody that's just a nice human being.
But also on a comedy level, I feel like Dave Chappelle is a better comedian. Now, and George and I have this conversation because
it's like some Tupac Biggie back
George
and forth.
Is a Chris Rock person.
I'm Chris
Rock. So would you consider Chris Rock Biggie or?
I'd consider him the Biggie of the situation.
And I'm going with, I don't know, because I think Biggie has bars. But here's the thing. I feel like Chappelle is just a very intelligent, and it's consistent. With Chris Rock, what we really like about Chris Rock was his first two specials. Like, we like Bigger and Blacker and then the other one, and then that's basically who we're looking at.
Yeah. I'm
not excited to see Chris Rock now. Like, Chris Rock is like, I would say it's the difference between Nas and Jay-Z, where Nas, I know he's hot, but Jay-Z's still putting out music.
Yeah.
You know, Jay-Z's still, I would run to hear a Jay-Z album now and not a Nas album. So I just, I'm a Chappelle girl myself.
I respect.
Chappelle girl.
How do you?
He's so authentic to himself.
He's very authentic, and his comedy is brilliant. But that's everyone. We would love to hear your opinion, George. How do you analyze this?
This is how I'm gonna analyze it. So final answer is gonna be Dave Chappelle for both of you.
No. Daphne still rolled with
You still rolled with Chris Rock.
She stuck with her guns. She stuck with her guns.
If he gave me a hug and a smile, I'd choose him.
Okay.
But if he give me that same little dirty look, like, who invited you here? Why are you
living?
Exist?
Black women,
then
get out my
I'm
face.
like, okay, Dave.
So let's start with this side of the table. You are able to separate the art from the artist, because what matters to you the most at the end of the day, although you believe when you're on stage you need to connect with your crowd, you need to win these people over for yourself and your material. At the end of the day, to you as an artiste, ultimate artwork cannot be denied. So you are able to separate people's attitudes and things on the surface from the greatness that they've created. On the other hand, they ain't gonna fly with you. You ain't gonna see past it. You ain't gonna be tricked by no political campaign.
Once you don't speak, your art is trash.
You gotta vibe through and through.
It's like, I still think R. Kelly, I still want to step in the name of love, but I don't respect anything that he's done in his personal life. But I mean, he is the king of R&B, and I'll argue that with anybody.
He's no Jacquees.
So I think I was pretty much spot on. What y'all think?
And he just wants to get that validation.
Thank you.
What I'm seeing is actually a different level. I see Daphnique is a person of many layers. She wants all those layers to be fulfilled. She respects intelligence. She also respects the art form and creativity. She also is very logical and can handle things in a different way. And she finds herself in an emotional state which affects her decisions. With Del, I see she's a very right-brained person with creativity and art and eclectic, and likes things to just be, even if they're jumbled, they still make sense to her. And that's just the way she likes to go with the flow. And that's who she is, and she doesn't make excuses for that. And so...
Amen.
You just made my coochie wet.
I didn't get no snaps or nothing.
There's no snaps.
I'm getting no love on this side of the table.
When we're talking coochie, this is a very important either or, and there is a right answer.
Okay.
I'd like to tell you this. Jodeci or Boyz II Men? Please discuss.
Jodeci before the crack.
Was there ever a before the crack? I think it's always been the crack with Jodeci.
But have you ever seen Jodeci
Now,
perform?
that's real.
Even now,
Now,
live?
it's garbage.
They literally bring tears to my eyes. I've literally went on YouTube and watched them sing live, and when I tell you, it feel like they sing into your soul because it's just something so beautiful. Nobody can connect to people like musicians. Musicians connect to people more than any other art form.
100%.
Stand up, acting, anything. Musicians can connect because for some reason, these people talent, the way they rap, the way they talk about their life or anything, the way they talk about how they was raised or they sing from a place of I'm not in love anymore versus when I'm in love. It's something about it touch your soul and your spirit and you know that God is real. And when I seen Jodeci sing live, just the two of them on stage one time, I literally watched YouTube and cried. Boyz II Men could never.
That's deep.
Also cried when I watched Jodeci, but it was from laughing when I watched him grab a chicken wing out somebody's hand before he finished the nose.
I think that was in Vegas.
So that was like, what is going? I can't see past the crack moment. I had it on Do Not Disturb. I don't know what the hell is going on. Let me put it on airplane mode. I don't know.
I see that you're right. She mixes like personal.
Guys,
and
I need
you
the
missing,
total package.
You need the total package. Yeah. I don't. I think that just some people were meant to touch the world, and sometimes they do it by touching souls through their art form, and sometimes they do it by touching little kids. But I'm able to separate the two.
Yeah, and you know what? On this one, I gotta say, when I listen to Boyz II Men versus Jodeci, I still have to go with Casey's voice from Jodeci because it just does. It does touch you more. Whereas, like, you know, Boyz II Men, like, who's in there again?
Well,
I think it's like Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike. Oh, that's
that
New
ain't even.
Edition.
See, you don't even know what group we talking about. So Jodeci wins by default.
Boyz II Men is what?
Jodeci wins by
default.
No, that's New
Boyz II Men
Edition.
is all the.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right.
Their names.
And that's what I'm talking about. So I gotta go with Jodeci on this one
just knows
too.
Boyz II Men.
You know,
Yeah,
Casey,
that's it.
Dalvin,
That's right.
Devontae,
We know.
JoJo.
The road.
Okay, we got to pay for that.
And like I said, there was a right answer, and I'll give you the right answer for both of you. Please.
My analysis is that both of y'all just plain disrespectful. Don't you ever be talking about me. My analysis is actually that with Boyz II Men, okay, they ain't really giving you the freakiness, that the Jodeci, the intimacy, the liveliness. Boyz II Men is a little too romantic. And I feel like you are a little dismayed from men who are too corny with it, a little too romantic with it. And you want your men or women to be straight up when they approach you, to come with the realness, come with the rawness. You respect the authenticity. You love for what love is. And it ain't just a lovey-dovey. It's everything that comes with it. It's the challenges. It's the spontaneity. It's the invigoration of the minds and bodies.
I connect to what you're saying because Jodeci, they look like the way they sing and perform is like, ooh, he got a big penis. He'll mess up my credit, but I'm going to love him. Yeah. And then
that's what Mary J. Blige said.
Boyz II Men is like the good guy. He's always there. Even when I don't want to love him, he's going to be by my side. He's going to come over and put together all the IKEA furniture. I'm never going to have sex with him. So, yeah, I'm always going to go for Jodeci because every girl like to have a wild time.
I'm glad the guests finally agree with me.
I need to start choosing the more Boyz II Men of the world because I'm so sick of attracting the Jodecis of the world.
I know, everyone. But I just wanted to get off with saying that Boyz II Men is way better. Go ahead, Teron. You know what I'm saying?
Well, to George's credit, the right answer is Jodeci. And here's the thing. I will stop talking to a girl who chooses Boyz II Men over Jodeci because, bitch, you don't like to fuck the way I like to fuck. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we can't connect. I can't.
You want to get married and have kids and stuff.
It's not even about the kids and the marriage. It's like, okay. Here's the thing, both of you. This is where the Jodeci comes to play. And Daphne, I always fuck with you, but now you've just took it to another level because you understood it's Jodeci. I'm so glad you both chose the correct answer because I have this conversation with so many people. Jodeci, you both have a little ratchet in you, and you can take the girl out the hood, but you can't take the hood out the girl. And if you didn't have a real authentic black love experience, then you don't understand. So you're having my baby. You understand what I'm saying? Like then they hadn't even took her out to dinner yet. This wasn't like, he was like, so you're having my baby. I'm pretty sure they had Popeyes in that song. Like there was a lot going on in that particular song and in general. And then Diary of a Madman is possibly one of the best R&B albums of all time. So anyone who doesn't understand that doesn't understand. They equated love to being addicted to crack, which they eventually became addicted to crack.
I think
That's
they were already
real.
addicted to crack when
I
they
believe
did that album.
them. I don't believe Boyz II Men. Like Boyz II Men went to Hillman, and Jodeci dropped out of Howard. That's the difference of who we are, who we're talking about in this situation. And I feel like both of you both have that edge, that attitude, that we're refined now. But bitch, if you fuck with me, the earrings coming out, I'm slapping the shit out of you. And that's where the real Jodeci comes from. Because Boyz II Men niggas walk away. They walk like, I'm too good for this. And Jodeci,
they're mama's boys.
Yeah, Jodeci.
But we come back after
mama's boys.
After we've confronted our emotions, we come back and ask for a second chance.
I'll let Boyz II Men. I get why Boyz II Men is good. I understand that they're good, but they're no joke. Okay.
I want to sing off. I want to sing off.
It's like
remix.
Boyz II Men is Kevin Hart. Jodeci is Cat Williams.
Yo,
then I'm Team Jodeci.
Yo, that's a real.
I'm Team Jodeci.
I still get him a little more, but it's not realness. It's that like, yo.
Then I guess
they meant it. You know what I'm saying? They meant it. Do you have? This is our last. Our last
either or. It's date night. Okay, you want to ride in the Ferrari? Or do you want to ride in the Rolls Royce?
Rolls Royce. Ferraris go too fast and my nerves get bad. And it just tells me where he's at in his life, where he got to prove a point, and he like fast cars, fast women, and fast money.
And everything that she said, but I just want to add too that Ferrari driver has a little dick, and that's just the bottom line. I need to fucking be in the big body in the bag. Open my door. Thanks so much.
Yeah. And then the Rolls Royce is like young football player. The Ferrari is like older white man.
Yes.
And I'm gonna take the young football black player any day. Don't nobody want you, sir. Trump face ass.
Thanks.
Nope.
George.
My analysis, if I were to offer you some juice right now, you'd both be like, nah, because the sauce is forever. And y'all would want extra sauce. Y'all understand the sauce. You understand the true swag. And that is why you selected the Rolls Royce. Because you're not impressed by the show and the flashiness and the temporary. Y'all are going for stability, longevity, and a swag that is consistent and can remain is on just a higher level of life. And that is the atmosphere y'all are in right now.
Amen.
Higher living in 2019.
Amen.
And you went for the Rolls Royce.
I think it actually is a little more simple in a way. And when I say simple, I mean, first of all, the Rolls Royce, big body, big body. You understand what I'm saying? It's like Rolls Royce really, because personally, I choose the Rolls Royce. A Ferrari is like someone told you Ferraris are cool, so you got a Ferrari. Rolls Royce is like I earned a Rolls Royce. Like I need a Rolls for my life and who I am. Rolls Royce. I need that big body, and I'm gonna do big body damage when we get into bed. I'm gonna live big body life. Like Rolls Royce says, boss. Like that's who you are. Mm-hmm. Ferrari says, oh, I have a job. Like I'm getting money. But Rolls says like I'm a boss.
Yeah.
And the guy in the Rolls might not even have as much money as the Ferrari guy. But the guy in the Rolls will take care of things that the Ferrari guy cannot.
Yes.
In every way. Feel protected.
And the coochie, that's what we
well,
worried
it's not
about.
just that. You guys like men that are bigger, can make you feel safe and comfortable and protect you.
Yep.
And both of you seem to be very strong, opinionated black women. And you like that role. But you also like a man that knows how to put you in check in the right way at the right times. And
Amen.
That's a
sexy.
very important. Yeah.
Handle it.
Alphas. That's how we like to hear.
it's important when you meet people or date people for the first time. If you're already in a relationship, you get to look back, right, a little bit. You know, you've watched people transition. But say I'm just starting to date somebody and I look at his Instagram and see his 10-year challenge. I can tell if he lives a healthy lifestyle, if he drinks his water, if he smokes, he drinks, he works out, he keeps in shape, he's looking better, feeling better, getting more money. I want progression in a man. I want a man to be looking better in 10 years than he did 10 years before, even though he was younger. I just want you, because your whole style, I should see like your whole story, your whole style transition. You know what I mean? I should see your watch have went from a G-Shock to a Rolex. I should see that your diamonds went from non-existent to them little, you know, them little bands that people give, the little rubber bands, to a bracelet like
with the stones,
Tyron be wearing. Yeah. I should see you progress. You know, all in that one photo. I should see you looking sexy with your beard game, with your little bird face. You know what I mean? Like I just want to see a man. So yeah, I'm gonna say 10-year challenge is popping because I want to see that progress. Are you drinking water?
Drinking water? Yeah, I'll drink water.
It shows in your skin and stuff. I want to see if you had acne, if you figured out in 10 years how to get rid of it.
Interesting.
But what if you were 400 pounds and now you done lost weight?
Yeah, I don't want no little fat kid, so you know, because that's genetic. It's genetic, and I don't want my little kids to be like.
But that doesn't show like the guy's willing to work on themselves. Like it's
because if you went from 400 pounds to 200 pounds, you in the gym too much, and I don't like men that be in the gym too much.
That's real. See,
that's a different obsession
situation
because they be putting that energy in the gym versus that energy into a job. Because a real man don't got time to go to the gym every single day. Wow. It's not in his schedule. You get what I'm saying? If you're someone that's popping and it's a part of your job, but I'd rather have it. That's why when we go to the doctor, we don't see doctors with 6-packs because guess what? They working every day, saving lives. I don't want no man that's in the gym every day because it equates to being broke.
Have 6-packs though. Orthos.
I feel a lot better about my belly right now.
Yeah, like when I see your belly, I say, okay, he getting money.
He getting money.
I see what he doing.
He getting money, bro.
And the black diamond, call me.
How you feeling?
Buddy,
I've been much to date outside my race.
We'll play some Jodeci.
Like, I like the pop. I think the 10-year challenge for me is different. I like the fact that you can have fun. I'm not looking at it like, you know, with all these like, 10 years you've been doing this. But, you know, I'm looking at it whether or not you're a fun person because I definitely meet the good boys. You know, I mean, I have all my ex-boyfriends. I can say this was a good dude right here that are getting money and that we're generous. But one thing that they missed is that happy spirit. And so that's why I have to look at, and that happy spirit, that means everything to me. I do need no nigga waking up mad for no apparent reason. I don't want to have to cheer you up every day. Nigga, need to cheer yourself up. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I need to look at your 10-year challenge to see, have you been happy for the last 10 years? Okay. Because that's the number one thing that is going to make us last. And you know, you right about the niggas at the gym. Them are evil spirits right there. And there's also evil controlling spirit. You know, if a man is at the gym every day, he wonder what the fuck you eating. He wonder what you snacking on. You know?
Yeah, I dated a guy like that, and he was like, "Yeah, you shouldn't be eating that." And I was like, you know what? Let me eat this on
my way out the door,
fat by myself, sir. Yeah, because I ain't going to the gym with you.
Like if he was single, I would just love to have sex with Dave Chappelle. You know? Yeah. Yes. Oh my God. That's my type.
Out, though. You've been getting in the gym.
No, that's my type. That's like that statue, that statuesque, that like I know, like I could see Dave Chappelle is very well endowed. I can just see it, and that's just like my type. Well endowed, successful.
That seems to be a big part of who you like is just well endowed.
Because my butt calls the well endowed.
I don't like no donkey dick. I don't want it. I don't need it in my life. I don't like good. I don't like amazing sex. I just like good sex. That was regular. I fuck with you. I don't want no sex that's gonna mess up my life. So if you out here ruining lives with good sex and gonna have me wanting to stop doing comedy and going on the road and thinking about settling down and having a baby in a house with you, take your good dick and find the next girl.
And find right here. I'm right here. Settling down.
What's up,
Thanks
devil?
so much.
Good sex is the devil.
It's not the devil. It comes from the Lord. Good sex comes from the Lord.
So who's your comedian crush, Daphne?
Tyron.
Yeah.
Why? Let's hear about why.
I get a win.
Why? Because he's about his business.
Mm-hmm.
I get a win.
He's always been consistent. And it's nothing I love more in a man than consistency. Someone that was the same way when I first started comedy versus where I'm at now. Like, he's always been a consistently good person, you know, and I'm just trying to get on his show at the Laugh Factory.
I just messing with him.
You had me tearing up.
Because he is. He's consistent. I don't like when he wear the robes, but when he be ready to dress up and clean up, he be stepping out on them. Got the convertible on their ass. He light skinned, so he knows good restaurants and he knows good things.
And he has good hair.
He hide it with the hat, but he got good hair.
He bilingual.
Yeah, he bilingual.
Your baby gonna have good hair.
Doesn't matter.
And he's also, I just should share this. He's also my comedian crush. Because I didn't have $5, so I lost my previous comedian crush because I didn't have $5.
This is the best story of all time.
I didn't have $5 on me.
This is when George could have dated Tiffany Haddish. And Tiffany talks about it on stage too sometimes. And Tiffany needed $5 for the valet, and George didn't have a $5 bill. Like, who carries cash, right? He's like, who carries cash? And you could just tell this change in Tiffany's.
It was a wrap for me.
She's like,
it would have been rap for me because I would have wanted $5 plus a tip, so I don't look stupid.
Exactly.
I would have rapped your ass up
that's
too.
why
and
I
the
always
worst
tell George
part,
carry cash like a man.
Yeah, she caught me slipping, so I didn't have the $5 on me, but I gave her the wallet thinking like maybe they take card. And she's like, "What? You hand me an empty wallet?" Threw it back at me, and I'm like, "Yo!" So now I got a $5 bill on me at all times.
All times, he's ready to go. He's ready to go.
And I got my new boo, Tehran. So back off my crush.
We get a question from the listener each and every week. We get a question. And, of course, we love all the listeners who send in questions. Last week, we actually got the record amount of questions, which was 1,043 questions that you emailed us. So thank you so much for being a part of the Imperfect Gentleman crew. We appreciate each and every one of you Imperfect Gentlemen. Email us your questions at
imperfectshow@gmail.com.
And remember, we choose the questions at random. So if we didn't choose your question, it's not because we didn't like your question. It's just we randomly, whichever one I click on, that's the one that goes. So this week, our question comes from Candace.
All right. So Candace has a question. We need your help answering it for her. All right. The best advice you could receive. Candace asks, I recently hooked up with a guy who is married. I know the wife and see her around. What should I do? Should I tell her or have him tell her or leave it alone?
Well, did she, it's so many questions ahead of that. Did she know he was married?
We don't know that.
She said she knows the wife.
But
well, I mean, I would just be friends with the wife, you know?
Be cool.
Yeah. Hey, bitch, you need some help with these kids? I can come over. I wash, I cook, I clean. I like kids. I want to have kids, but I don't want to have them right now. So I would love to be attached to a married man and his wife and come over and play with the kids like they're my own and kiss them and hug them. And they go out on their little date and they come back and then I have sex with them because she don't really want to have sex because she just had a baby. And then we just be just one little happy ass family. Like, that's what's wrong with that. But if she's trying to tell her to be messy, if you're just trying to tell her, like, if she's trying, I think that the only time a woman should tell a married woman that she's sleeping with her husband is because she wants to be a part of the family. Right? But you shouldn't tell her just to be messy.
Just to like home wreck.
Just to be home wreck and just to have her crying and be sad. Now, if you're trying to home wreck and type like, hey, listen, I want to be a part of your family. I'm having sex with him. You don't really want to have sex with him, but you want to be married with him. Y'all got kids. Let me come around. Let me be a part of the family. Let's all go on vacation together and have a great time. You know what I mean?
That's some
But
2019
if you're just trying to start
stuff.
some shit like, bitch, I slept with your husband. Why I want you to be sad around our kids?
It
You know what I
doesn't
mean?
solve anything.
Why
Our
won't our
kids.
man upset at me? I just want everybody to be happy. Because, see, anybody know me know I wouldn't mess with a married man unless he had money anyway. So I ain't gonna mess with no married man that's just the assistant
Cashier at
manager.
Rite Aid.
Yeah, that cashier at Rite Aid or assistant manager at Applebee's. No, he's a millionaire, bitch. Let's share. Let's have a good time. Everybody
And
be happy.
I could not disagree more.
Okay.
I hate Candace. Bitch, I think I met you, bitch. Like, I'm just joking. Candace, no. First of all, if you ever want to have your own fucking man, leave this girl man alone. I don't fuck married men. Like, you can have, like, let me just tell you, my vagina, it needs to be number one in order to get wet. That's the only time I can have sex.
My vagina still get wet with being number two.
Mine cannot. Mine is extremely dry until I know not only am I number one, I'm the only one, because this vagina is valuable. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody's ever single when you first meet them. In today's society with the internet, people just being more free and having just no man when you first meet him. I actually ask guys sometimes when I go on a first date, how many people are you talking to? And I have a guy be honest, so I'm talking to like a couple of girls, a few. And then one guy told me the other day, I'm talking to 2 girls. You have to try to work your way in and up. And if you have to take somebody's husband in the meantime, bitch, go.
Wow.
Candace, don't take that advice, goddammit, because you'll never have one for yourself. And take it as a formerly married woman who has definitely been in other relationships and been engaged. You definitely, I agree there, where you definitely are, like, men are definitely hooked up with other people. You know, they're like sought after or whatever, but you don't fuck them.
This is a real thing. It's a real situation that happens more often than we like to talk about. People don't realize it. And I think both of your answers have validity just depending on who you are as a person. And that's what it comes down to. If you're happy, be happy. Don't let other people tell you what happiness is.
And then it also is so many questions and factors. It depends on where somebody is in their marriage. Because if someone's truly happy and they're pleased to be with that person, they would never cheat on that person. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It has to be something faulty going on there. Oh, yeah, that's true. People still cheat.
I mean,
yeah, because men can disconnect like that. They're not having sex with a woman emotionally. They're literally just getting off. Oh, she got a fat ass, and they can just get off and disconnect. But when you're joined under covenant is when you
she brought the Jesus into
that's
it.
Right, because marriage is bringing Jesus into it, and you remove your flesh from shit.
Is it marriage bringing Jesus
marriage
into
is
it?
Well, if you're Christian,
if you're Christian, where do people get married though? Where do people get married? Like where all do people get married?
Well,
church,
they get married different places. Justice of Peace, church, mosque, so whatever. So
that's not true. So everyone just gets married at the courthouse. That's the only place you can get married because you sign a contract. It's between 2 people.
Yes.
It's a contract. Like we love saying Jesus and everything we have in a marriage, but the truth of the matter is when it comes to marriage, it's a contract between 2 people. And if those 2 people want to share or don't share, that's a conversation between them. And you have an understanding.
She's talking
of
a spiritual marriage, brother,
Yes.
and I'm feeling that Jesus in the love. I understand
what
what
I'm
you're
saying.
saying.
Because people love to talk about other people's relationships, like, oh, Cardi B, blah blah blah, and I'm like, yo, I don't know, because you're not dating Offset. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. If she's happy, she's grown.
Yeah, I think Cardi B should stay with Offset. She has a baby with him. She's married with him. They have a lifestyle. So why would you? I'm big on that too. If I was married to a man, I have to be completely done with him in so many different forms. I wouldn't just let one woman just make me done with that man because I'm letting her win. And I don't want to say certain names, but we know celebrities who left their wife and got with somebody else, and just the person that they was cheating with in their relationship. So in a way, if I'm willing not to work it out, and it's because that woman has become so bitter in that relationship that she's really turning the man away more and more. We're going to have a conversation about it. I remember one time I was watching a talk show. I don't remember if it was Oprah or something years ago, but this one lady, this older white lady, said that every time her husband cheated on her, he had to put in an account like a large amount of money, like $50,000. They were rich. He had to put, and over the time, in order not to pay the money, and if she found out about it, then it was like $100,000. And then in order not to pay the money, it decreased him from cheating on her because he was like, man, I'm not about to pay this money.
So it's like marriage hush money.
Yeah. That's the concept. I mean, and it's because they're grown up. I don't judge them. If that's what they like, that's what they like.
What I want to knock out is just being the best I can be. So if I can punch anybody out, it'll be me when I want to get down on myself, pick myself back up, punch myself down when I'm not, knock myself out when I'm not putting in the work, when I'm not hitting the stages, when I'm not focusing on my acting class, my improv class, knock myself out so I can get back up. Knock me down 9 times, I'm going to get back up 10 self. And that's the person I want to knock out.
Good for you,
man. Thank you for giving me.
There's a couple people I would kill. Just get their ass off this earth.
Yo, don't get on Daphnique's bad side.
Okay.
You just blessed me with my future Emmy speech. Thank you. So I'm gonna use all of that.
Here's the topic of the day. With all the celebrity makeups and breakups, and we discussed some of them right now. Cardi B, Ariana Grande. The question is, can we find love and relationship in today's world?
I think it's very, very, very hard unless you're willing to exclude yourself from like social media. I believe it's love like in little small cities in Mississippi and Alabama and places like that. But the country where it's not very many options. But then your husband could cheat with a bitch at the local bar. You know what I mean? But the thing about it is nowadays with society is because the technology is advancing, options have advanced it. So people are constantly addicted to wanting more and wanting better in relationships, and you know, people know nowadays that they don't have to settle and they don't have to accept certain things, where it's like my grandmother and great grandparents, they settled. If a man wasn't right, if he cheated, he did this or he did that, long as he worked, they accept him for who he was in other aspects of his life. It didn't always have to be the whole entire package. But nowadays it's just everybody's like, well, if you're not the whole entire package, maybe you are, and then you realize that you're never going to find that. But because of the options and the internet, you can get on the app and be able to put yourself in front of millions of people. To get on social media is a good dating website too. People don't know that Instagram, you could date a whole lot of people on there. But all that stuff, you open yourself up to so many options, and options is what's killing people.
Well said.
Yeah, I think you can find love today because, you know, yes, people have a shitload of options, but when you mature, then your options go way slimmer because this girl ain't gonna have everything this girl have over here. This girl might not have it going on like this girl over here. Back in the day with our great grandparents, the roles were different. The man brought the money into the household while the woman raised the kids and take care of the house. So that's why they weren't going, because your mother didn't have anywhere to go. She had to go back home to her family. Or I mean, your grandmother didn't have anywhere to go. She had to go back home to her family because all the money was being generated by the grandfather, you know, whereas today the woman is generating the money and so is the man. But when you think about, you know, all the trash you got on social media, all the trash on the dating website, yeah, you can find that person. You just have to have it in your mind you want to. And when you're not mature, then you don't want to. Then that's what makes you look at all these, oh, I got this option over here, I got that. No, nigga, you don't have me over there. You have this, you know, chicken hair over here. You might have that substitute, but you don't have this over here. And there's, you know, we don't need all these men. We just need the one man, and there's that one man out there. You know?
It's one man. But are you guys in the belief that there is one person for you and that's the only person for you?
I believe that there's one person for you and there can be several people for you at different times. I don't believe that you got to skim through life and wait on this one person. I think you can definitely work toward compatibility with several different people, but not at the same time. So if that one doesn't work out, then you might have another one that does work out. But yeah, you can definitely get somebody for you.
And I think you can miss the person that was for you too, because like where I'm at in my life is I just want to be successful. Until I find where I am in success, I kind of really ain't too worried about other people or kind of relationships and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, that person could have came for me, but I'm just like, nah, I want this over here more. So, options.
If there's one person I can knock out, it's going to be me, and tell myself to do better.
You're just taking Daphnique's words. You can't just take Daphnique's
plagiarism live.
Oh, live. Huh? That's how they do you on the internet nowadays.
We appreciate both of you for being on the show.
You.
Thank you so much.
We were amazing.
You were amazing, actually, both of you. And you picked Jodeci, which means you're even more amazing than you realize. We appreciate your expertise and your personal experiences, and you bringing that wall down and letting us into your lives. Each and every week, we pick an Imperfect Gentleman of the Week. Which embodies the qualities of the Imperfect Gentleman. This week's Imperfect Gentleman is the Gillette Company. If you know, they're known for their razors. The company, whose slogan is the best a man can be, recently put out a commercial. And it was a very socially aware commercial regarding toxic male masculinity. And it's this kind of responsible advertising that we need to support. It's a commercial where they explain and express what's going on with that. And we really, truly appreciate their responsible advertising. So thank you, Gillette, Imperfect Gentleman of the Week. Where can people find you if you want to be found?
You can find me on social media. I am Daphnique Springs, IAMD Springs on all social media outlets. Also, that's my website as well, IMD Springs, Daphnique Springs. Thank you.
Del?
You can find me at I am DEL Harrison on everything. You can also find my new single, Boom Boom, on iTunes. Please go to iTunes and download it. iTunes, Google Play Music, Spotify, anywhere you find music, my new single, Boom Boom, and download it and rate it and review it. Thank you so much.
That's what's up. I appreciate it very much. Where can people find us on Twitter?
Find us at Imperfect G Show on Twitter, Instagram. Email us at imperfectshow@gmail.com.
And of course, make sure to find me. I'm the impeccable, impenetrable Teron Von Gossary at I Am Teron all across the gram, Twitter, everything that's possible. That's how it works, man.
That's how
find
it works.
Me, I'm alongside.
And find me at Mr. George Corey all across the board. It was great having y'all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And we are
Imperfect Gentlemen.
Remember, nobody's perfect but us. We'll see y'all next week. Martin on the boards. What up?
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.